Yes, it wasn't that I went to go much as I know, because I would sit down with you all and the people, the younger people that come in. What I am called as a shop steward, I'm the person that you can come to if you have questions about the job, about the contract, about the union.
Cindy Canales, a UPS worker in California, has been trained by her local union to be a Teamster steward, the person that her co-workers turn to for help in dealing with management.
If you think you're not being treated fairly, if you think that they're harassing you for any reasons, a racial thing, a sexual thing, they just plain old don't like you because you have long hair and glasses, come see me. We'll sit down and try to discuss that with them. If somebody's making more money than you and you think you're entitled to it, that's basically what I'm there to kind of like see that the company stays in check with the contract. The contract kind of spells out all the rules that the company follows as far as our health and welfare benefits, what you're entitled to. The people that
most Teamster members are covered by a Teamster contract negotiated with the employer. With help from our elected union leaders, the members themselves decide what to bargain for.
We took a survey to see what everybody wanted. Top of the line for everybody was health care.
Ed Clowes and his co-workers at Dean Dairy in Pennsylvania were facing tough negotiations with their employer.
He was coming in there offering us hardly, barely anything at all.
So they got advice from the Teamsters International Union that provides support for more than 500 local unions in the U.S. and Canada. Instead of striking, the workers decided to put pressure on the company by appealing to the store owners who sold their dairy products.
I'm trying to get a fair contract over at Dean's Dairy since April.
And the consumers who bought those products.
And I'm trying to get public support.
We got guys up there in their 60s and 70s that can't retire because they don't get enough on the pension. We felt that it was very important to have the community support behind us because they're the people that buy the product. And we're just trying to let the public be aware of what's going on here. And once you have the community support, you have power.
We got the community involvement. We got the legislators
After
involved.
several months of a community campaign, Teamster members at Dean Dairy voted on whether to accept a new and improved contract offer from management.
It touches a lot of areas. There's a lot of major improvements in there, and I'd like to share that with you.
We went out hand-built. We had all the local support. Everybody said, you guys stick to your gun. I never did any speaking to the group as a whole before that. But I felt I had something to say, and the people needed to hear it before they made a clear decision on their vote.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
I say we vote on it as a whole. All right.
Is there a second motion? Okay, there's a second here.
I was real happy that we got the contract ratified because it was a long, hard fight, and a lot of hand-billing activity and, time away from my family. I don't want them to grow up flipping hamburgers for $4 an hour with no benefits. I'm looking at the future. If there's a lot of low-paying jobs that are non-union, it drags down our wage scale. If we get more people with good wages and good benefits, it's going to benefit us.
Winning and enforcing better contracts is just one way that nearly 1.5 million Teamster families work together. Backed by DRIVE, the Teamsters Political Action Committee, members like Kathy Sporich of St. Louis work to make public officials serve working people and not just big corporations and millionaires.
When I saw the ad for school bus drivers, I thought, well, I like kids and I like to drive. So I thought, this will work out great. I'll do this for a while and I'll find a real job and then I'll get a real job. And 23 years later, I'm still here. I am now a dispatcher instead of a driver. Transportation South, Kathy, may I help you? In the very beginning, there was no union here. When people first started talking about the union, I was like, no, we don't need a union here. We can deal with this. We'll get representatives to talk to the Board of Education. And when they kind of laughed in our face, it was like, oh, well, you laugh, you lose, So then when we started talking union, I got involved in it. It's like, if you don't stand up for yourself, who's going to? The district is I believe, over 30 years old, and it came about due to the necessity of having something for the handicapped children. We have special equipment on the buses for transporting the wheelchairs, special seat belts and safety vests for holding children who don't have the body torso control.
Amy uses a wheelchair, and the school board cut the aids 27%. And we were very concerned about losing our services, so we decided that maybe there needed to be a change on the school board.
We had some board members who basically want to get rid of all the members of the Teamsters. They were trying to contract out our jobs. They were trying to get someone else to come in to do the jobs for less money. Good morning, how you doing?
Good morning.
We're working on a campaign to elect Bill Franzen to the Special School District Board of Education. Some of them have never done this before. You know, to go out and solicit support from people you don't know is kind of a scary thing for people to do. You know, we did leafleting at stores, we did neighborhoods and things. We had people down constructing signs, yard signs to put together.
Hi, would you like to vote for Bill Franzen?
Because we were involved in the election, because we successfully got some supportive people in there, Amy's education is staying stabilized right now. It could have totally fallen apart. If we had not gotten involved, I do believe that at this point our jobs would be gone, as well as all the other local 610 jobs that are with this district. One moment, please. I'm one of 5 children, and I do not come from a union family. My father was an insurance agent. So when I got involved in this, he was very apprehensive about it. But the people would join basically because they understood that the union was not in the old image of a union, gangsters and mobsters coming out to get people. And that's, you know, when I was younger, I mean, that was my concept of the Teamsters. You know, they'd beat you up or flatten your tires or whatever. After I was assured about it, then I could assure other people.
Kathy and her co-workers found that today's Teamsters are taking strong action to put the problem of corruption behind us.
Well, I work at the Jacob Javits Center. My job is a help checker. We check freight and unloading trucks.
Okay.
We set up displays for the shows and things like that. With the help of Hollows.
People like David Coakley didn't used to be able to get work at New York's Javits Convention Center because many of the jobs were reserved by local union officials for associates of organized crime families.
I heard about how it was a lot of family here, like the supervisors will have their cousins and their aunts and uncles and all that.
The Javits Center has been turned into United Nations for the mob. There are the Gambinos, the Genovese, the Bonanos, the Colombos, the Lucchese's. But I'm speaking for the Teamster Union, and I'm telling you that that kind of conduct is unacceptable to the Teamster Union. It's putting them...
The Teamsters International Union stepped in to end mob control and protect members' rights.
The only way you stop corruption is by building democratic institutions, democratic unions.
A lot of my friends don't belong to a union. They stuck in jobs, I call it nowhere jobs, you know, jobs that you caught in a circle. You know, it's just, there's no, you can't progress in it. My friends that are young like me and not in the union, they don't have the opportunities that I have. And this is one of the best jobs I've ever had.
Union jobs are good jobs. But our wages, benefits, and job security are threatened when employers can shift work to people without unions who have low pay and no rights on the job. That's why Teamster Charlie Reed of Ohio, a truck driver for over 40 years, volunteers his time to help workers organize at Overnight, one of the largest non-union trucking companies in the United States.
When we have time, we can get a day off or whatever, we go out and try to help the local get these people organized, get them involved, and get them to where they want to belong to the Teamsters.
Overnight says that I'm an at-will employee, and that kind of scares me to think I could go in tomorrow and they could say, well, we don't need you anymore. You're fired. There's nothing I can do about it.
I understand that.
Teamster volunteer organizers talk with overnight workers at truck stop diners and invite them home for dinner.
You know what I make compared to what you make.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah, it's frustrating for us drivers working at overnight to be out there doing the same thing that you guys are doing, and
a lot less pay.
Yes, and it gets frustrating.
Those people don't have no buying power. All they got is existing power. They can barely make ends meet.
Oh, it's horrible. You know,
They live from payday to payday, and they don't have no money left.
whatsoever. The money's, you know, for what he's working, and is grouchy and is tired as he comes home and overworked.
And
it threatens my grandkids. It threatens my kids. Right now, my kids have all got good jobs. They're doing good. One of my son-in-laws is a Teamster member too. He drives for Pepsi. They make good money. But I know if those jobs were gone, they couldn't go out and replace them. And the same way with your pension. I don't know how overnight's pension is.
And it's kind of...
You're not really going to know until you get there, right?
And, you know, that's not nothing to look forward to when you're not sure what you're going to be getting.
One thing you got to remember, Mark, you're a young fella now, but years fly by fast, and you got to have that pension in order to make it and to have a good retirement. That's why I'm so glad that I've been a Teamster all these years.
Being a Teamster has helped Charlie Reed to achieve a lifelong dream.
I bought a farm and started farming. I grow corn, soybeans, and wheat. I do it on the weekends and on my vacations. I make a good living driving a truck, but I just like to farm. I don't know. I just like to see things grow.
As a Teamster, you can be like Charlie, and David, and Kathy, and Ed, and Cindy. You can learn your rights on the job and work for better contracts. You can help keep the heat on politicians. You can talk with workers who are organizing to join the Teamsters. And you can get involved and keep your local union strong and democratic.
You know, I thought you went there, did your job, went home. That's all you needed. But since then I've found that it takes people to make the union work. You know, people are the union. It's not just a name, the Teamsters. It's all the people behind it.